Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of atACC. In this video I'm going to show you how we can use Payroll Management System. So let's start the video. In order to start Payroll System, you have to create master files according to this. So first one is department. I have to create departments here. Just input the name and click save. Simple as that. Just like this, it's created some departments here. Sales department. Just input the name and you can save it. So you have to create at least one. Next one is designation. The same concept, you have to input the name and save it. Just like this, I just created sales head, inventory manager, like that. You can just input the name. And third one is category. You can input category like, in my case I just created level 1, or you can create any name of category you need. So you have to input at least one. Now next one is work shift. You have to input work shifts, whether it is working hours or break or overtime. You can create any. If you need to continue with working hours, you can simply create working hours, just like name like that. In my case I just created working hours just like this. Morning shift, selected work hours, and then input start date and end date like that. It's created afternoon session too. Overtime, of course, we have to create overtime as work shift from a start time and end time. According to this, we will make the transaction and the work hours and the rate per hour like that. So this is the shift we need to create. The next one is holiday. You can create holiday masters like this. For example, if you need to assign a single day of every weekend as holiday. For example, Sunday is off, so you can select it. Every Sunday is off in a single calendar, so you can input the name. For example, Sunday here, and you can choose holiday, and you can select the same date, start date and end date, a single day, which means Sunday here. In my calendar I selected 19th, and 2 end date also 19th, and I can click repeat weekly in order to repeat that same day in every week, which means it is holiday. So you can assign to branch or department or all of them. You can save it, or you can particularly select a tick box here for any particular department heads. So like this you can click. Okay, in my case I click all and I can save it. So this is how you can save a holiday. The same concept goes for vacation, but vacation differ. It's a number of days, for example months, a year, like that. Okay, you can input vacation name here. You can start it here. For example, you can select a 1 month vacation for the department. You can choose a 1 month or 2 month or 1 year, like that. You can assign to any of them. That's how it works for vacation. So you have to select vacation as holiday table. That's it. The next one, it's salary period. You have to select salary period. This is mandatory field here. You have to create each month. If it is monthly payment, you have to create each month of a year separately. For example, in my example I just created June. This is June. It's my current month I'm going through. So June. If you need to create a July, just like this, you can create July. You can select your year. You can select the date. You can pick from date and to date of July, like this. Number of working days. Just input the number of working days. That's all. Actually, number of working days is not the field to calculate. It always select the start date and end date, not to calculate. So here you can input, for example 28, no problem. You can input remarks. So like that you have to create each month, then only we can assign a salary processing and salary payment along for that particular month, because we are choosing monthly in my example. So this is how you can use salary period. Moving on to the next one, which is employee creation. Of course, this is employee creation window. Here you can create a new employee from here, or you can simply select your login user. If you need to select your login user, you simply select search button here. You can search and you can select any of yours. Okay, I just already have a login user, or else you can just input your new name here. Okay, in my case I'm selecting my existing. So this is my existing employee. I have to set him on my payroll. So here I have to select employee type, all of the mandatory fields, of course, the branch, and all other field if you need you can fill it. Here official detail, which is department, I can select department here, for example sales department. Category, which category you need to select, you can select it. Salary frequency, of course, in my example I'm using monthly here. Designation, you can choose, and you can choose whether it is contract based, part-time, permanent, probation or training. In my case I'm using permanent. You can choose any. In the work shift you can select which shift you need. So if you have both combined shift, you can create a normal shift and you can select it. Now right now I am not selecting any, which means you may work morning or afternoon. Okay, and join date, of course you have to select the join date. As for example I'm choosing 1st of June, and confirmation date of course 1st of June. Okay, if it's a probation, then you can choose an end date and it will be end on that particular date. And you can choose a report to, which means the HR. I have to create HR as a new employee and I can choose them. Right now I don't have any, so I choose none. And other details you can input accordingly. Now the emergency contacts, statutory, if is in a visa, and passport if you need, you can input passport number, the expiry and the issue date here. And you can also attach a sample PDF or the image of any. So visa and passport here. If you need to add passport or visa other than this, you can input here in this document side. Here unlimited number of documents you can add, including issue date, expiry and the attachment. So it will come up here. Okay. And the image, you can upload an image of your employee. So this is how you can create employee. In my case I just already created as test employee. And let's save it. Let's move to the next part, which is salary component. It's very important for payroll. Here we have many fields like groups like salary, incentives, earnings, deduction, like that. So according to our use we can create one by one. For example I just created basic pay. Just input a name, basic pay. You can give short name according to your wish, and you have to select it whether it is salary or incentive. You can select either. In my case I selected salaries. Description if you need, and component setting, of course we have to enable whether it is earning or deduction. You have to select any. And in my case I using fixed value, which means I can input the value. This is a default value here. You can change it according to the person or the employee at the time of processing or the component setting. Okay, so here I'm just creating the template. The value can be different. Okay, so here you can input 1000 here. Let's see how it works, and let's see for the next step how we can change it. Okay. So this is the basic pay I have to create. And also in expression type we have fixed value or formula. If it is formula, we have to create formula. In my case it is fixed value. I just create a fixed value for this basic pay. So first one is basic pay, it's a common thing. And the next one I have to create advance. If we are giving any advance, which means it is not an incentive, it is a salary, which means it is deduction. So we have to create advance here. Short name, salary, deduction. Of course we have to select deduction instead of earnings in order to reduce. And here we have to select advance repayment. If it is a loan, we have to create loan as name, short name, and like that, and we have to select loan repayment. In my case this is advance repayment, that's how we select. Okay, previously I select none because it is normal, and here this advance repayment, nothing else. I just save it. And overtime, of course I have to create overtime here. Overtime, all the name and all. And here are earnings, and here nothing else. System type, just leave it as none. And here we have to select formula in order to calculate overtime into the number of hours into the rate which we give the overtime. So here I can click a formula button here. I can see the formula field here, the expression side on right side and the common on the left side. I have to select general here, it's already. And overtime I have to double click in order to come upon the expression side. So overtime, every time the value here it comes in hours, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, like that. So we have to give an equation like overtime into or multiplied by our rate which we give and overtime per hour. In my case, I'm giving 10. So overtime, whether it is 5 hour, 5 multiplied by 10, like that. Okay, so this is how we can add an equation. And also we have many more equations. For example, if you need to give a percentage wise for advance or basic earnings, like or basic pay into or multiplied by or divided by any equation you can add. In my case, I only need overtime equation, so I just create it like this. Nothing else I have to save it. So I have created 3 different components here. This is for example, all I need is this 3. Okay, let's start. As we create salary component, the next one is salary settings. So we have 2 type of salary settings. For example, for category wise or employee wise. So if it is category wise, let's see what we have here. We can choose category and bulk salary setting. Okay, here we won't select any particular employee, it apply for the entire category of employees. So as for example, for specific we can select employee by using employee wise salary. As for example, let me select employee. I have to select my employee either by code, name, mobile number, employee type, user role, branch, anything. So in my case, I just type my name of this particular employee, and effect from I just start from June. From June onwards, he is on my payroll. I have to pay him. So effect from, and annual CTC, it's not mandatory, you can input if you need annual. And here this is the part which we can add earnings. So you have to select earnings and you can click add and basic pay and add. It show 1000 here, and we have one more overtime. Click add. See, all the equation or all the expression we made there, it come up here. Now we have deduction, of course, advance. I have to select advance here. I have to click add button to select the advance. So here the advance, we don't need any expression because we know the advance, whatever the amount come up here, it will reduce automatically. So here, now here you can change. For example, this is a test employee, and by default it is 1000, but I need to change it. For example, 2000, like that. I can add, simply add like this, and you can save it in order to finalize all the settings. So this is how to set salary components for a single employee. Once it's saved, you can select another employee, you can change accordingly. Okay, so if it is category wise, you can select a category wise employee settings which apply all employee under them. So in my case, I just already created one having basic pay 2000, overtime and advance. Now let's start the next one. And now we completed all the master files. Now let's start transaction. The first one is opening, leave opening. So here I can select my employee here. The year automatically come up here because my default year is 2022. Here I can input leave opening. For example, I give him a leave opening of 30 leave he have in a single year on this 2012. And now here we can select compulsory off, for example 2 extra compulsory off, or let's say 10. Okay, so total 40 is leave. He get 40 days of leave without losing any payment. Now previous year, from previous year, if he have any opening leave, you can input. For example, 3 leave he have opening, which means 43 total, and he can encash that particular leave. He only need 30 and the rest he don't need, then he can encash, which means we can reduce from the total of total number of leaves. 43 out of 43 he can convert 13 encash. There is no other transaction, just we need to know about how these leaves reduce, that's all. So encash here 13, nothing else. You can save it. Now the balance is 30, he can only take 30 on this particular year. So this is how you can input a leave opening for this particular employee. Okay, in my case I just already created one just like this, for example. Okay, moving on to the next one. Next one is attendance. You can select your employee here, attendance employee. You can select the date, attendance date, If he's on leave today, then you can select leave, casual leave, earn leave, loss of pay, like that, or leave mode here accordingly. And if he have any overtime, you can input overtime here. If he have a shift, and attendance check-in time and check-out time, if you need, you can select accordingly like this. Okay, you have to input manually all of these. In my case, I just input number of hours, 2 working extra hours. Okay, nothing else. I didn't select any. If I didn't select any, which means he is present today. If I didn't come up on this attendance window, which means he is present. So all you need, you can come up here, you can select a leave. Okay, you have to select leave on this attendance window, that's all. Okay, if he is present every day, you don't need to come up here, so it automatically take his present. But for overtime or leave, you have to open this window and you have to select the employee and you can input accordingly. Okay, otherwise he's present every day. And if we have any approval, you can select leave approval. If you have any approval, you can select them, and you can see the reason of leave from and to, like that. You can check, and HR can check the request of from this particular employee and you can confirm the leave. You can accept it. So this is how you can use attendance. Right. As for next, it is advance. You can select your employee, you can give the amount whichever you need to give him as advance. You can select the number of installment. Well, 2 installments, it will show the date which split the repayment date into 2, which means I selected number of installment 2. If it is 5, it's split like this. The amount also will be split like this, and you can select the repayment date. For example, for the next 31st onwards, I have to collect this advance, then it will split like this. So every 31st it will select accordingly the last date, that's what I mean. Now here you can choose cash or bank, you can make the payment. So this is how you can use advance payment. It is single installment, you can select like this. In my example, I just already created one. It's like this, single example 50, and I made it as cash payment. Okay, so balance is 50. So let's see how it works, the time of processing. Also we have loan option here, the same concept for advance, but different is the interest rate. Here if you select an employee here and give amount, for example number of installment 2, and if you need to collect interest along with the repayment, you can input either the percentage here or the amount here. For example 10%, which means 1.26 from each. It will divide to this number of installments. So this is all the difference we have. Interest difference between advance and loan. So you can make payment by cash or bank. So like this you can complete advance. Moving on to the next one, which is leave request. An employee can request his leave to his HR. You can select his name and leave type and report to HR and request from. For example, let's try 25th with a 1 day of leave. You can save it. It's already saved 25th here. Let's try how he can get the request accepted. So the next step is the HR will log in to his username. By using his username and password, he can accept the request from his employee. So let's start. This is a leave approval window here. You can select, you can click leave request here. You can see all leave requested employee. You can double click, you can edit, and you can approve it. If you want to approve it in a different date, you can select approval in a different date. Okay, or if you need to select HR of a different HR, you can select it accordingly. So both are same. 25th, okay, approved. You can save it. That's how you can approve. And whenever the employee log into his username and password, by using his username and password, he can see whether his leave is accepted or rejected and the status. For example, I'm logging by using the employee username and password here, and he can see a notification on right side of the dashboard. So here you can see a notification. You can click it and you can see the leave has been approved from to like this. And if you see it, if it is okay, then you can click OK to close this information. So this is how you can approve, request and notify a leave for employee. And the next one is relief request. If someone wants to relieve, they can select the employee name and relief type and relieving date, and they can report to their HR manager, just like leave request. And HR can accept their approval, same like leave approval. They can click relief request and they can take from it and they can approve. As for the next one, we have to select salary processing. Now to process the payment of certain month, so in my case it's June, select payroll manager here if I have, and department designation, anything you can select, or you can select individual employee. If you need to select all, you can select department all here. You can click add and you can see the employees whatever under department you list over here, and the total amount is 2250 deduction, which means advance, and 200 is overtime. So if I save it, and finally we can go for salary payment. Here you can click select button here, you can select your employee or employees and you can make the payment either by cash or bank. Okay, if it's bank, you can select the bank here. The cash, you can select cash account here, and you can confirm the payment by clicking save button. So it will be paid, the opposite one will pass and there will be no pending payment. So this is how you can make a salary payment. And finally, reports. You can see any report, pay slip, salary payment report, anything. For example, salary payment report, you can filter by employee, department designation, anything, period. In my case, let me show example, show like this. So this is how you can use payroll system in atACC. Thank you for watching the video.